Hello and welcome to Tactical Manager TV. If you're new here, hi, I'm Filippo, your host of Tactical Manager TV, and today we have a brand new series. So the name of this series is USMNT Depth Chart, and there's honestly nothing unique about it. But you know, ever since Alexi Lalas does all those depth charts and they go trending, I thought, well, I gotta do one myself. This is how this series is going to go. I'm going to do a depth chart based on where Berhalter plays the players. With that said, the series is going to go 3 episodes every 2 months. These 3 episodes are going to be the defense, which we're going to go through goalkeepers, fullbacks, and center backs, the midfielders, which will be the midfielders, and the forwards, which will have the wingers and the center forwards. As I said, in this episode, we're going to be doing the defense, so I'm going to be covering the goalkeepers, the fullbacks, and the center backs. I'll be doing 4 goalkeepers, 4 right backs, 4 left backs, and 6 center backs. With all that said, guys, before we start, hit that like button and let's hear it from our sponsor with a giveaway. Thank you OneFootball once again for sponsoring the channel. But look. This one's not about us. This is about you, because OneFootball is doing a giveaway for our viewers. So thank you very much, OneFootball. But let me explain. For the month of August, we have an amazing event, the MLS All-Star Game versus the Liga MX. You know, just another opportunity for the United States to crush Mexico like we did all summer long. We can just keep it rolling for another win. So for this, OneFootball will be doing a giveaway of 1 MLS All-Star 2021 jersey for a fan based in the United States. So go on the link down below, do your download, follow the instructions, and enter the giveaway. I might enter it myself. So thank you once again, OneFootball, for the giveaway. Thank you for sponsoring the channel, and hopefully the United States can continue to beat Mexico on the MLS versus Liga MX All-Star Game. Man, now our sponsor even does giveaway. So let's play the intro and let's start the goalkeepers. Okay, let's start the goalkeepers, and I'm going to go with 4 goalkeepers for our depth chart. And look, I can't count on David Ochoa because we might be losing him to L3, unfortunately. It seems like it's very likely, so he won't be on this one. If for some reason he returns to the USMNT during these 2 months, he could be on the next one. So let's start my number 1. And my number 1 is still Zach Steffen. Look, Zach Steffen is still my favorite choice for this position, but not by a lot. He was pretty good for Manchester City over the weekend when they played Leicester for the Community Shield final. He did allow a goal off a penalty kick, but throughout the game was pretty good. However, he will not start for Manchester City. Ederson is the goalkeeper right there. Unless Ederson's injured, Zach Steffen's a bench player. So look, if we want to play out of the back, Zach Steffen might be our best option. And no, he's not brilliant with his feet. I just think he's better than my number 2 option, which I'm going to talk about right now. And my number 2 option is Matt Turner. Matt Turner is likely our best shot stopper, if I'm completely honest with all of you, but with him playing out of the back is a no-no. You can't do it. We saw it in Gold Cup. With his feet, he's just not good enough. As a shot stopper, probably our best. And Greg Berhalter did notice that throughout Gold Cup. If you notice throughout the games, we stopped playing out of the back when he got the confirmation that he couldn't do it with Matt Turner. Now, Matt Turner, on the other hand, has won the Golden Glove for Gold Cup, rightfully so. He was absolutely fantastic and key for the United States. They're allowing pretty much only allowing 1 goal, and it was off a penalty kick. He has been amazing for the New England Revolution this season, pretty much being the best goalkeeper in MLS alongside Andre Blake. So look, Turner's our number 2. I'm okay with him being the number 1 as long as we don't play out of the back. So it's Zach Steffen, Matt Turner, and now it brings me to my option number 3, which is Eaton Horvath from Nottingham Forest. Eaton Horvath was absolutely fantastic for the United States against Switzerland and Mexico in the Nations League final as well, being one of the heroes. Now, last season, he did sit on the bench throughout the entire season at the Belgium League, so that's somewhat similar to Zach Steffen's situation in Manchester City, but he has moved to the championship and will be playing for Nottingham Forest, which it seems like he won't start early on in the season, but goalkeeper Samba for Nottingham Forest has been somewhat shaky. So Eaton Horvath will get chances, and maybe he'll become a starter. They also gave him the number 1. So the expectations for him are good in the championship, but he's not a starter yet, and we have to watch out for that. Now, out of these 3 goalkeepers that I mentioned, if any of them start, I'm pretty comfortable with. Which brings me to our 4th option, which I would not want him to play, if I'm going to be honest. I would definitely want Steffen, Turner, or Horvath. Number 4 is Shawn Johnson from the New York City FC. Now, my 4th option, normally it would have been Ochoa, but I'm going to go with Shawn Johnson because there is no other option, if I'm going to be honest right here. I guess Brad Struver has been pretty good as well for Austin, but I'm just going to go with Shawn Johnson here. He's got experience. He's been pretty reliable for New York City FC, so he is my 4th option. So just to recap, guys, Zach Steffen, Matt Turner, Eaton Horvath, and Shawn Johnson are my 4 goalkeepers. Now, let's move to the fullbacks. Okay, so for the fullbacks, I'm going to start with the right back position. And my number 1 right back is Serginho Dest. This is Dest's position to lose, and the Barcelona right back has all my trust despite his defensive struggles. He's one of our most technical players we have, if not the most technical. He will improve more and more as he's still very young as well. Now, Dest does have to improve on defense for sure, and his crossing ability, to be fair, as well. But Dest is our right back and one of the top right back prospects in the world. Okay, so Dest is my number 1, my number 2, which might surprise many, and my number 3, so let's go with both. My number 2 is DeAndre Yedlin. Yeah, my number 3 is Reggie Cannon. But let me explain why these two, because they're very close. I think Yedlin brings that dog attitude we need, especially in CONCACAF. I do think both of them lack technically, but I do think Reggie Cannon is more technical than DeAndre Yedlin. Yedlin's more of a physical beast in the field, and when we faced L3 in Nations League final, we saw that. Along with Yedlin showing up to play, we saw his physicality, and his Premier League experience definitely plays a role. The attitude, tactically, I think Yedlin is much more composed, despite him being mostly what I like to call a pace merchant. If Dest is not performing, we can count on Yedlin to get the job done, despite him being more of a pace merchant, as I just said. And Cannon is my number 3, which he's also very reliable as well. And I think in a couple years, or maybe a couple months, I'll just have Cannon above Yedlin. But right now, especially because of that Mexico performance and because Yedlin's playing for a better team than Reggie Cannon at the moment, I'm going to go with DeAndre Yedlin, and for experience reasons. Now, my number 4 right now is Brian Reynolds from Roma. Brian Reynolds was pretty good at Dallas in MLS, and now he's at Roma, and the minutes will be tough, obviously, especially because Jose Mourinho doesn't like to play young players, but hopefully he gets minutes in the Serie A like he did at the second half of last season when he arrived. To me, he's one of our top prospects for sure. He offers a lot on offense, very athletic, very technical, and can be very reliable on defense as well. It was between him and Shaq Moore, but Moore was very good in the group stage for the Gold Cup, but struggled after, so I'm not sold on him yet. Plus, I'm going to need more later on in the video. I'm going to explain to you guys very soon. Maybe that can change in 2 months, but right now I'm going for Brian Reynolds as my 4th right back option. And Joe Scally is on the rise as well, so we got to keep an eye for him as well. And I obviously didn't include Julian Araujo because it does seem like he's leaning more towards L3. Alright, so let's do the left back position right now. And I'm not a big fan of putting a right back on the left back position just to, save the team. But that might be needed. But let's start the left back, and the first left back that I have is Anthony Robinson from Fulham that plays in the Championship. Look, it still has to be Robinson the number 1 option, and I'm not a big fan of putting right backs out of position like Dest. That's why I didn't put Dest here. Robinson held his own in the Premier League, and he is talented. He got caught off position a few times and struggles on defense, I agree with that, but he has great pace, great crossing ability, and he's the number 1 left back in my depth chart. And look, there were some Premier League teams interested in him as well. So yeah, my number 1 has to be Anthony Robinson. Now, my number 2 might be a little controversial, but I'm going to go with George Bello. So look, my number 2 is Bello, and my number 3 is Sam Vines. And though it was pretty close, I just rate Bello higher due to his technical ability and creativity up top. I just think he offers more than Vines. However, Sam Vines has shown to be more consistent, and the move abroad could play a role, along with him being solid throughout the entire Gold Cup. I'm still going to go with Bello here, just a personal choice. Vines will make his case for himself the next few months and could surpass Bello at the next episode of USMNT Depth Chart Defense. So okay, just to recap, Robinson, Bello, Vines. And now my 4th option is something I didn't want to do, but I'm going to have to put Shaq Moore as my 4th option on the left back. I know he can also play right, he's mostly a right back, but he can also play left back, but we just don't have that many options right now, especially in regards to left back position. Look, we can't put Kobe Hernandez Foster, we can't put Jonathan Gomez. These players have not played in a high level yet. They haven't played in top leagues. Jonathan Gomez looks like a great prospect, but he's still playing in USL. We need to see more from these players. And no, I'm not going to put Chase Gasper there as well. I did consider John Token at one point. He has been performing very well for the New York Red Bulls, but not yet. I need to see more from him. And also Paredes from DC United that many talk about. Look, he's not a left back. He's even shifting to the winger position at this point. He's very gifted on offense. He's not a true left back. So that does it for the left back position. Anthony Robinson, George Bello, Sam Vines, and Shaq Moore. Let's go to the center backs to wrap up the video. Comment down below your depth chart. Please just do that right now and hit the like button while you're at it. Let's talk about the center backs. Okay, so for the center backs, we're going to pick 6 players total, and I'm going to start with John Brooks as my number 1. And I think I'm pretty sure that's everyone's number one. That's somewhere everyone's going to agree. Number two is where we're going to have some issue. Let's start with Brooks. He was one of the best center backs in Bundesliga last season. Very good on the ball, physical, technical, and good in the air. The only struggle Brooks has, in my personal opinion, is in isolation. Brooks is at his prime, and he has to be our number one center back as of now. Now, my number two is going to be Chris Richards. And here comes the he's not proven crowd. He never played a competitive match for the US men's national team. Arguments will come up in this video for sure. But look, for him to gain experience, you have to play him. He's a proven, good Bundesliga defender. Coming mid-season to a mid-table team and becoming a lock-in starter, how many center backs from the US men's national team poll can do that? He can also play as a left center back, right center back. He's very technical, athletic, just needs to improve on his decision making in my opinion. He's good on isolation as well. Experience will take care of the decision making issues, but if we don't play him, he won't gain it. Now look, I don't know if he's going to be playing for Bayern or he's going to get a loan or leave, whatever's going to happen. If he's not playing for Bayern, just sitting on the bench and not coming in for 2 months, my number 3 will likely surpass him. And my number 3 is Miles Robinson. He brings physicality, technical ability, he's pretty good playing out of the back, and an aggressiveness that, some passion that he brought throughout Gold Cup that is worth talking about as well. And his tackles were all very clean as well. The aggressive style of play is something I really enjoyed. He has been great for Atlanta United despite their awful season, and to me, he was personally the best player we had last Gold Cup, the one we won. He's my number 3, which then brings us to my number 4, which is Mark Mckenzie from Genk in the Belgium League. Honestly, I don't think Mckenzie is worse than Robinson by any means, but the size can be an issue. Robinson does have a size advantage. Now, Mckenzie does look more technical at times, clean on the tackle, but Robinson did not lack on that, at least not in Gold Cup. Mckenzie needs to lock in the starting job at Genk and perform for the US men's national team in World Cup qualifying, which he will get his opportunities for sure in the September and October camp. And with that said, he could surpass Robinson here. The same way they could both surpass Richards if Richards is just not playing. Gold Cup played a big role on me placing Robinson on the number 3. So as of now, we have Brooks, Richards, Miles Robinson, and Mark Mckenzie. Let's go to the final 2 center backs, number 5 and number 6. So look, my number 5 is going to be Walker Zimmerman. And one of the reasons for that is a lot of the other players are clubless right now, right? Miazga doesn't have a club yet. He's on Chelsea and he's not going to play. Eric Palmer-Brown doesn't have a club yet. He's not going to play for Manchester City, which is where he belongs right now. Cameron Carter-Vickers is with Tottenham, but he's not going to stay there as well. And Aaron Long is injured, so I'm not putting him on my list due to the injury as well. So Walker Zimmerman is my number 5. Walker Zimmerman was good in Gold Cup until he got injured, but we never got to see him against tougher competition, so I can't place him higher up the list unlike Alexi Lalas did. He can still be shaky with the ball when under pressure, but he has been fairly reliable in the USMNT and a pretty good MLS defender. Actually, he's been a top MLS defender, so he's earned the 5th spot. Now, my number 6 right now is going to be Matt Miazga. The reason I can't place Miazga ahead of Zimmerman is, 1, I need to see where Miazga is going to play to see if he's going to be consistent in form and getting minutes. And Miazga is very unreliable. Miazga can have a better game than Zimmerman. He seems more technical on the ball than Zimmerman, but he can also do something crazy and get a red card. I think Zimmerman's more reliable. I'm placing him ahead of Miazga for the time being. Alright guys, a lot can happen in this depth chart the next 2 months, especially with World Cup qualifying and the European Leagues being back. So I want you to comment down below your list of players, for the goalkeeper, right back, left back, and center backs. I'd like to see it. Comment down below. I'll most certainly will be reading them. So will Dustin. I want to thank you all very much for watching. Hit that like button before you go if you enjoyed this type of series, obviously. Expect the midfielder video to be out later this week, and expect the forwards video to be out even later this week as well, probably over the weekend. I want to thank you all very much for watching, and have a great day.